Yo, 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 what is poppin'? It is your girl, Morgan DuPont, back at it again with another video. So I know it's been a little minute since I've done a story time, so I figured I'd come on here and share a quick story time about a one night stand I had, honey. One for the books, I can say, or at least one that I remember, and that was, I guess, a bit interesting. So stay tuned, honey. Let me know what you're snacking on, what you're doing, how was your day. I appreciate you being here. Do not be shy. Introduce yourself in the comment section below, honey. Without further ado, honey, let's get right into the story. I was on the Tinder app, just looking for a little boo thing and whatnot. Even though, listen, Tinder is not the place, honey. If you're looking for love, if you're looking for something long term, it's just not the place. I definitely went on there in hopes of meeting someone awesome that I can potentially explore in terms of a long term situation. But I also was aware, to not have that kind of expectation, because I've been on Tinder, years back, and I already kind of knew what it was giving. But I have met some awesome people on there. So I was on Tinder, and then there was one particular guy, really handsome, honey. I didn't even think he was gonna necessarily match with me, but he did. He was really handsome, and he was really attentive. He, as soon as we matched, he wrote me and we started to have a conversation, and I love that because for those y'all who have been on Tinder, isn't it annoying when somebody matches you and they don't write you? Let's say if I'm swiping and I so happen to match with somebody who had pressed a like on my profile, and if it becomes a match on my end after me having liked your profile, I would initiate a hello. But there's times where the guy, it will be the other way around, and it's you see that you match with a person, but they don't write you, and it's what kind of shit is this, honey? Am I matching with females? Where's the masculine energy? Where's the man? I need you can't say hello. How you doing, beautiful? Can I get to know you? What are you on this app for? But anyway, I say that to say that he was not that. He seemed really attentive, really interested, and super sweet. And he had expressed to me that he's not from New York, that he rented out Airbnb out here, that he's gonna be staying out here for a month, that he travels a lot, and that he just wanted to get to know me, that he finds me intriguing, all that stuff. So he knew I was trans, honey. It wasn't no secret. He found me attractive, and he told me he wanted to hang out with me. He had expressed I just want to make sure that I'm gonna actually see you in person, because I guess he has had issues in the past starting a conversation with somebody and then that person not following through, or wanting to meet in person. So I'm no, what the fuck? I'm on here to meet in person. This is just the stepping stone, and it's just one step, and then you get to the next step, and the next step is meeting. So so he wanted to do it right away. He wanted to just hang out and whatnot. I told him, let's just better, let's arrange something this week. He asked me if I would be interested in having some dinner at the Airbnb, and, with some wine, and we could just chill, whatever. My intent wasn't to, fuck, or anything like that. I really was trying to, be civil and have self-control, and hope that he has self-control. Although sometimes when you go to somebody's home or in a place that's private and you're attracted to each other, sometimes things happen, but that was not my intention. But anyway, we decided to link up. We set up a time later at night, which is also, I guess, a red flag in itself, but I was trying to be positive about it all. I head his way. I call him. I had taken the train to meet with this guy. He told me that he'll pick me up at the train, etc. So I was okay, cool. So I took the train. I believe it was in Bushwick. So he was okay, no, no problem. I'm gonna come pick you up. So I'm waiting, and then I see this guy. He's walking towards me, and it's him. And I'm like, oh my god, like, you know, he is fine. Like, this is a good looking guy. Like, he cute. He cute. I don't know. He was giving me like, I don't know, what's that guy's name? You know what? No, let me not say anything. Let me not say anything because I'm not trying to expose nobody. I'm not that kind of trans girl to give very much like, oh, we slept together, I slept with this person. No. That's not cute. It's not that deep. I'm a trans person. Boo the fuck who. You know, it's not that deep. And I respect people, their will, you know, to come out or not or whatever. So he gives me a hug, honey. And when I give him a hug, honey, I smell like onions. Honey, it smelled like, he smelled like, yeah, like onion. Like, you know, like armpit or something, like onion. So like we walk in and that's like the first thing I notice, and I'm like, oh, in my head I'm thinking like, oh, I'm with stink butt here, I'm over here with stinky. Am I gonna have to deal with this for the whole night? Like, what is that? Like, well, so I told him, I said, I don't mean to be rude, you know, you smell a little funky. And I was like, you kind of smell a little sweaty. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's my shirt. I just, you know, like he smelled himself. He's like, yeah, it's my shirt. You know, I got to throw it in the wash. I just threw it on to just come and pick you up. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm just like, I'm a little thrown off because I'm like, if you know you're going to meet somebody for the first time, you couldn't put a clean shirt on. You couldn't take off that shirt that smelled like roasted onions and mushrooms, honey. Honey, you smell like roasted pepper and garlic. And you're gonna know when you're meeting me for the first time. How would you feel if I came smelling like fried onions and peppers? I'm like, it's a done deal. I'm already out here. It's late. You know, he's a good looking guy. He seems sweet. Let me not judge him. Let's see what it's given when he takes us to the shirt. Because if he's saying it's a shirt, let's just hope for the best. So we go back to the play, to his spot where he's staying. And it's super cute. Super cute spot. I walked in, I was just looking at everything because the decorations were very like antique. Like it was just like really dope, like vintage-esque kind of vibe. It was a cool spot. So I was like, you know, oh, like we were talking about like the art and everything. He was telling me why he picked the plays and that he fell in love with it, etc., etc. I'm like, yeah, this is dope. So he changes his shirt, and it was a shirt. It wasn't him. You know, he wasn't smelling bad. It was a shirt that he put on. Again, I don't know why he would put back on a fucking dirty shirt to meet somebody for the first time again, but to each his own. He takes me to like this balcony in the apartment, and I see just like, you know, like first of all, when I walked in, just to rewind, when I walked in, I smelled food, like food was being cooked or something. As he directed me to go out into the balcony, I saw like a table, like with like, you had potatoes, you had steak, you had like fruit, you had like, it was so nice. Like I was like, oh my god, like he did this all for me, like, you know what I mean? And so I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is, you know, you did all this. He's like, yeah. He was like, you know, sit down, have a seat, I'll be right back. Like, you know, I'm still not done. I'm like fixing up the, you know, the vegetables. He was doing some kind of steamed vegetable thing, and he was still doing like just his like some last minute little stuff that he wanted to add, you know, onto the tables. I was like, okay, you know, no problem. So, you know, he goes to the kitchen and I'm just there. I'm taking in the view. It's a super cute balcony, cute vibe. And I'm like, you know, I'm feeling good. I'm like, oh my god, like I feel kind of special. Like I don't get, like, I don't know, I just don't have experiences like that where like a man like goes hard like that to make me a meal and to make me feel good and make me feel special. You know what I mean? It's just small things, like, you know, just makes, I don't know, even like with like simple things like flowers, like a man buying me flowers. I think it's just so sweet. You know, that's an act of service, and I feel like that's one of my like love languages. Like just seeing that he was like just, he was just in it. He wanted to make me feel good, and he wanted to host me, and he was being hospitable, and the food was good too. It wasn't bad. Like, he knew what he was doing. So I was like, okay, honey, like, I'm living my tranny fantasy. He comes out with whatever else he wants to add into the menu. And then, we just started eating, and then we started talking. Yeah, I was just very intrigued by him. I felt like he was kind of secretive. Like, he didn't want to tell me too much about, like, what he does. He expressed to me that he was like a gypsy, and that, he doesn't stay in one place for too long. So I found that, interesting and cool. But I wanted to get to know him more. I felt like there was certain instances when I would ask him questions, like, I don't know, like, he was being a little secretive on some, like, secret society type of shit, you know what I'm saying? And, like, I don't know, I felt like he had money, honey. But, like, of course, I wasn't, like, hanging out with him for that, I wasn't, like, after that. But I was curious about him, because he would just seem, like, interesting, and he would tell me a little bit, but he wouldn't tell me a lot, and that just makes the curiosity and the cat go wild. I was just really intrigued by this man. So, we have our meal. He asked me if I could, just help him bring the food, like the dishes and stuff, back into the kitchen and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, of course, what I'm saying? You do the cooking, I do the cleaning. Okay, it's a feeling. So, what I mean? Like, I was like, okay, I'll do, it's giving very, like, couple energy, what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'll come and help you, daddy. Like, I'll come clean. Like, don't worry. Like, I got you. So I helped out a little bit, and as I'm helping out, like, he's getting a little touchy-feely, honey. He's getting a little touchy-feely. He's getting behind me. He's kind of kissing my neck and, like, complimenting me. And, like, oh, okay, like, like, I find it sweet, whatever. But I'm still, like, first of all, the food needs to digest. Like, let me digest this shit before we get into any touchy territory, okay? He started to kind of, like, get a little aggressive, started, like, ripping clothes off type shit, like, and, like, I felt like he just couldn't wait. And I had to stop him in the middle of the ordeal to tell him, like, oh, can I just, like, let my food digest? Because this is literally, like, we just finished eating. Like, we spoke for, I would say a good 10 or 15 minutes, like 15 minutes or so. So that was a while, but, we was eating, and I needed my food to digest, okay, before I take any, okay? So I told myself, listen, like, I had to kind of, like, stop him, like, but because he was going, like, he was kissing me. He started making out, honey. He was like, yeah, me at the wall, honey. And I was like, listen, like, we just ate, like, baby, can you just, like, give me just a minute before, like, if anything occurs? And he's like, oh, okay, no problem, my bad. I think it was, like, literally, like, 5 or 10 minutes later, like, we end up, like, just hooking up. Like, shit just happened, and it was wild. You know what I'm saying? It was wild. Yeah, like, it was good. Like, he's definitely, like, top 5 best I've ever had. Like, motherfucker had me like a pretzel. Like, was like, oh, I love, because, listen, I'm not like I'm 5'5". I'm not like a big girl, but I don't consider myself to be so, like, little, like, and not heavy. So, you know what I mean? Like, but, like, I think it's so sexy when a guy can, like, move me around, like, I'm, like, light as a feather, and just throw me around and, like, just handle me like that. Like, I live. So, honey, he handled me like that, so I was living. We had chemistry in that department, let's just say. So after we fuck or whatever, we was talking more and getting to know each other, and, like, I'm like, oh my god, like, I started to crush hard on him. I'm like, this guy, I'm like, he is so cute, so interesting, and, like, yeah, like, the D was, was good, and he was just fine. He was Turkish, and he was clean. Just to go back to that, honey, he was very clean. He wasn't smelling like that shirt that he put on when he first, picked me up. It was good vibes, and so we started talking and, like, sharing about, like, our dating stories and things, like, crazy dating stories we've had and stuff like that. Like, and I don't know, I just felt like comfortable in that way to just talk to him. he would tell me, you know, some crazy shit he's been through with girls, etc. and whatnot. And I think it came back into like conversation, like, you know, what does he do for his career? And he was basically was telling me like he didn't want to like talk about it, like, you know, there's just certain things that he can't talk about or doesn't talk about. And I'm just like why you can't tell me, like what, why you acting like that, like, because it also raises curiosity, like, you know, you have all this coin to travel and be all over the world, right, and do whatever the fuck you want to do. Like, I want to know, like, what's the tea, like, what you doing, like, what, you know. But he was being secretive. But we ended up fucking again, like, no lie, it was like 2 or 3, I think it was, I think it was 3 times that night that we had sex, and it was good, it was great. And I stood over that night. I slept with him, we cuddled, honey, and that's just blurry like territory. That's like, there's just certain things that I feel like I don't like to do with just anybody, because I get mushy and I get attached, and it just like, yeah, like I could be a little like weird like that. So, but at least I'm aware, I'm self-aware. What we did, we ended up, you know, we cuddled all night, talked, and then we fell asleep. Next day we wake up, and, you know, he told me he's gonna make breakfast and all this stuff. We end up fucking again. And that's how you know it was good, because I really don't be thirsty for like love making like that, but like it was good. So that happened. We had a morning situation. I jumped in the shower, and vice versa. And then so he made breakfast. This was like really early in the morning. He made breakfast. He already had coffee and did the same thing, like just brought the breakfast outside on the balcony. This time around the sun's out, so, you know, I'm over here just helping him water the plants that were in the balcony. And you know, after we ate breakfast and whatnot, like I washed all the dishes and I want to help him clean up and whatever. And in my head I'm thinking like, oh my god, this would be so nice, like, you know what I mean, being with somebody, you know, and like having that that equal give and take, you know what I mean, like as simple as like somebody cooking and me cleaning. He told me basically that he wanted me to stay with him for the rest of the day. Like, oh, like, you know, what you doing for the rest of the day? He asked me, like, you know, you could stay here, you know, we could fuck all day. He said that, and he was like, oh, like, I don't want you to go, da 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 da. And I was like, you know, because I was gonna leave, I was gonna go, you know, that morning back home or whatever. But, you know, I was like, you know what, like, this is a really good vibe, like, you know what I mean, I don't know what this is, you know, I know he's not looking for anything serious. He had told me that he wasn't, and, you know, especially considering that he travels and he, you know, he's, you know, always out and about, you know, I shouldn't have any expectations. But I really was like digging the vibe. I don't know, it was like that morning we started, I forgot what conversation we got into that led into him just randomly telling me like, oh, he was like, yeah, like, you know, I can't wait. He's like, I gotta go back to Mexico, you know. He was like, I be fucking all these bitches. And he was like, and these trannies, like all these trannies I've been fucking, da 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 da. And like, it was so random. And this was still early in the morning. In my head, I'm like thinking, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna stay today. I'm gonna stay today with this guy. Like, he seems cool, he seems sweet. And then like he just randomly, I feel like he just fucked the whole vibe. I just, like, yeah, you're not my man and you don't owe me anything, but at the same time, I don't know, I just felt like I don't know, almost like disrespected in a weird way. I don't know if I should feel that way, if I'm entitled to feel that way for somebody who's not mine. But like, I don't know, it made me feel like a piece of me. It just made me feel like how most men make me feel, especially since I'm trans. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'm trying to like play it off, because I'm not trying to come off like the weird, like jealous, like bitch, you know what I mean, like I don't know you like that, I just met you, like, you know what I mean. But I also do believe that sex, you know, can cause energetic and you know, soul ties and spiritual ties, you know what I mean? I think that's very real. Not saying that it did, but we definitely got it on a couple times. And yeah, like him just randomly just telling me that he want to go to Mexico, and I think he mentioned Miami too. He started talking about, it was just so random, like he just came out of nowhere talking about like, oh yeah, I can't wait, like, you know, I'm gonna be fucking all these trannies, I be fucking these trannies, I be fucking these girls, these fucking these bitches, and like, you know, I feel like he was like laughing about it, and like he thought I was just gonna be like, oh yeah, fuck them, yeah, fuck that bitch, fuck that tranny, yeah, I love that. So I let it simmer a little bit, and I feel like things got, like, after he told me that, like, it got mad awkward. Like, it was like kind of like awkward silence, like awkward space. And then I just went to like the room where I had like my stuff, like my bags and stuff. I'm like, you know what? I was like, I'm just gonna leave. I'm just gonna dip. I'm just leaving. I'm not gonna stay here with a guy who clearly sees me as an object, his New York object, his New York thing that he's probably gonna be bragging about later on to some other bitch, you know. And I don't know, I felt like that gave me tranny chaser energy. And yes, tranny chaser, okay, I don't like tranny chasers, okay. And there'd be guys, tranny chasers, in my comments like, oh, you don't like, why are you calling tranny chasers when we just... There's a difference between being attracted to a trans person and being a tranny chaser. I feel like tranny chasers have, you know, fantasies and fetishes, and, you know, they a bit freaky, honey. They want have their prostate, okay, stimulated. And I'm just not into that. I'm not into, like, you know, guys who seek out trannies. It's like men who seek out the tranny experience. That's like, to me, that's very tranny chaser. And I don't care what anybody has to say. I'm not into that, So I decide, you know, no, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna spend the rest of my day and share my energy with somebody who is wild. You know what I mean? It seems like he's wild, you know, like, cause that's wild. Like, why would you just, like, that's so random. Like, why would you just tell me that? Like, why didn't you know that? So I stopped packing my stuff and like whatever, and then I guess he peeps, and then he like comes to me. He's like, what happened? What happened? Like, what were you doing? Like, don't leave, don't go. I told you, like, we were gonna hang out today. We're gonna hang out. Da 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 da. Like, I told him, I said, it kind of turned me off, like, what you just said. Like, you know, I had a really good time with you. I know, like, you're not my man. Like, we're not a thing by any means. But like, at the same time, I kind of don't like to hear, you know, you talking about like, oh, you fucking trannies and bitches, and calling women bitches in Mexico, and you can't wait to, like, you do it again. And it's like, I just feel like I would just a good time for you here. And yeah, don't get me wrong, that's what it was, but like, I just don't, like, I don't need you to like be saying that in my face and like, and hearing that, because it just didn't make me feel good. And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean like that, I'm just being honest, like, I was trying to offend you, whatever, like, I'm enjoying you right now. And like, he started trying to like kiss up on me, like, you know, trying to make it seem like, oh, you're the only girl in the world right now. Yeah, right now. Until you fucking leave and you go to some other bitch and make her your world. I was like, nah, I think I'm gonna go. I was definitely in my salty energy at that point. And I was like, no, it's cool. I was like, you know, it's really nice meeting you. You know, thank you for the time. I appreciate you hosting me. You know, I really do. But yeah, I'm just gonna go. And then he was just like, all right, like, no problem. You know, it sucks. I was hoping we could have spent the rest of the, you know, the day and evening together. But, you know. Yeah, I left, and I don't know, I felt like shit. I remember going home, and I was kind of like, I kind of cried a little bit, like, because I felt just like, I don't know, I kind of felt just a little stupid. And I also just felt stupid for feeling stupid. I felt stupid for, like, feeling any kind of way about it, because I didn't really have, like, it wasn't really my place to feel any kind of way about it. But I did, and it hurt my feelings, and I liked him. And so, yeah, that was that. So, and I ended up finding that he's actually a vixen, like a music video vixen. He was in a global superstars music video. I'm not gonna say who or what, but he was a model, and like, for this very very like I said, superstar person. So I found out, like, I peeped out. I was like, oh shit, that's why maybe he didn't want to tell me. Like, he thought that I was gonna be, I don't know what, like, fangirl because he was a model in a celebrity's music video. Like, boohoo. But I mean, it was cool. So, you know, I'm like, oh shit, of course he would. He's gorgeous. But yeah, so I peeped that. So I think that was, I guess, maybe one of the things he does, you know, that he didn't tell me. But that was, I guess, cool to know. But I wasn't planning to interact with him anymore after that ordeal. I just wasn't, like, really, like, feeling it. It was like a month later, and he had hit me up, like, and was talking about, like, hey, what you doing? Like, you know, how you doing? Da 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 da. And I never responded. Although I find him, you know, definitely attractive, and he was super sweet. I don't know, I kind of was turned off by him. And, like, him hitting me up, like, a month later to, like, you know, he didn't hit me up at all, like, afterwards. It was just like he waited a whole month for him to, like, hit me up. Like, it's just like, I can't, honey. So, y'all, that was pretty much the story. It was a quick story time, honey. Apparently, he was a model. And yeah, we had a really good time, but he had to fuck it up. And just, I just don't understand what was the point of, like, just saying all that. Was it to test, you know, like, my gangsta? Was it to, like, see if I was gonna give a fuck or not, if I was gonna be affected or not? Like what was it? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm confused. Sometimes I feel like people don't realize, like, how gentle my heart is, you know. It's just one of those things where, like, I feel like some people could get so comfortable around me that they could just gotta, you know, let the cat out the bag by mistake. And yeah, I don't know, I just was, I wasn't feeling it. And that was that. So you know, I never communicated with him again. He did, I believe he wrote me like 2 times. He tried to reach out to me twice, but I didn't respond because I just didn't feel like it was necessary. But anyway, y'all, that was the short story time. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What would you have done in that situation? Do you have something, like, a similar story that you would like to share? Don't be shy, honey. Let us know in the comment section below. Okay, we want to know all the things. Okay, we are a nosy community up in this bitch. I love you all. Shout out to all the subscribers, new and old. I appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all the things, and turn on your notification bell so that you always know when I upload. I appreciate you being here. Until next time.